Does the data belong to when I upload, for example, my fitness data onto my smart device or onto my, my Fitbit or something? Do I still own that data, or does the company that makes the device, do they own that data?
Well, it all really depends on what your contract says, and this is what the issue is internationally, because a lot of these applications are written overseas, and the contractual terms are written by lawyers from those countries. So each country has its own set of laws around what privacy regulations are and who owns the data as defined by those contracts. So generally speaking, of course you own the data in one sense because you're tracking your medical history and the way you exercise and other information. But the company that runs that app also owns that information, and a large portion of them resell that information to marketers. So that might be for medical products or exercise-related products. And people then can build up a sense of what sorts of products you need or you're interested in from the harvesting of that data. Often that data is then matched with other data to create a bigger and a broader profile. And so, for example, the RFID technology, the near-field technology that they're putting into cell phones can be connected. That's a payment system, for example, can be connected with your health data as well, and that can create a different kind of profile in relation to individuals.
How does a South African, for example, who has a smart device, how do you get your data back? Or is it not even possible?
No, you're not going to get your data. You won't get your data back. But there's a couple of tricks and tips that you can put into place. And it's really important to take personal responsibility for that kind of thing. I was talking to the head of BlackBerry in Africa, and the BlackBerry model, and to some extent the Apple model, is to try and vet those things. But if you are loading or have applications on your smartphone, you have to take responsibility for that to some degree. So, even in your home, if you put up an alarm system, if you put up burglar bars, you can't just say to the burglar bar people, well, that's your responsibility. You have to make a choice about what burglar bar do you think is suitable, how should it be installed. You have to take control of your apps as well. Know and understand what their settings are, what you're giving away and why. And there are, fortunately, a lot of tools that can also protect your privacy. They can feed misinformation to geolocation apps, or you can turn off some of those settings. It's a time-consuming and annoying thing to do, but if you want the benefit of the app, you need to take the responsibility of protecting your data. Once the data has left the country, particularly gone to America, there's going to be problems. Soon we will have a law in South Africa that's aligned with European law, and that will allow you as a consumer in South Africa to manage and retrieve and destroy any of that type of data. But that will only really apply in South Africa, obviously, and to countries aligned with our legal system around privacy. That piece of legislation, Protection of Personal Information Act, is designed to help us as individuals to look after and protect our information. But even if we have that information and we give it to somebody and they have a legal basis for having it, in other words, we agree for them to use it, then of course they are allowed to use it. So we need to be educated about what we're doing.